Hey, hello. Sunday again is the Python tutorial. So yeah, like you said, if you haven't catch me on Friday, which was a disaster because some problem with the restreaming, but now we're here now, so which is fine. That we are having this new setup. Sorry, like I started a few minutes later because yeah, I have some like chores that like I really have to quickly fix at home. And yeah, and like I have this all new setup. I'm using a new computer. If you haven't catch my unboxing tutorial, you can also do that. So yeah, so basically so I have this new setup, so it takes longer than usual for me to yeah, to make everything works. And yeah, so it's just taking a little bit longer than I wanted. And I just realized I haven't paid some background music on my side, and like my headset may automatically turn off like in the middle, but I will try to like switch it on, like kind of give an alert once in a while. Because what happened with my headset is that it's the Bluetooth headset. So if there's no sound coming in, that it would just assume that I'm not using it and switch it off, which is very annoying when I'm doing this tutorial. Because um yeah, because like I am mainly using it for the mic and I'm not really using it like to, because like if you are streaming for games, it's fine. You have music like and background noises coming from audio output from your game, but I'm not. So all my stuff that I'm showing you is actually silence. So all you need is to hear me talking. But I don't want this headset to switch off, so I'm just like touching it all the time today. Sorry about that. Yeah, it took me longer to set up because this is completely new, and I hope the quality is better so you can see me clear now. And the streaming quality is going to be better. You can see the coding better. There will be less of a chance that my computer will crash, and just I just can't do it anymore. So okay, we are back to our tutorial. So I hope you catch up with the last two tutorials, because in the first one we downloaded Python and we set up our Python environment, and we have our environment ready so we can all like learn from Python. And and the last one that actually I would do a recap. I would tell you what we did in the last one. So we have learned quite a lot. We have done some homework. I hope you have done some homework. We have done some coding, and yeah. So yeah, like let me just get started. Like so, in case you missed the previous one, oh, this is annoying. This this menu bar keep popping up. I'm doing it in using slice.com, and I think I'm not using it what they are supposed to, like because I'm not making it full screen. So yeah, so I'm Chuck. I am like I was a data scientist. I started using Python when I got my first data science job because the whole team was using it. I think at the time there are still some colleagues using Python 2, which I would tell you a million times that Python 2 is dead now, considered dead. That like don't use Python 2 unless you really have to. If you if you like doing your work or some projects still using Python 2, convince the whole team to switch it to Python 3, because it's not good to use a version of Python that's not actively maintained anymore. And Python 3 has a lot of new features and a lot of the dependencies, like the library that you gotta use to like that your project depends on, would gotta be it's gotta be also the same, supporting Python 3 and stop like slowly stop supporting Python 2. So yeah, many reasons to use Python 2. So yeah, that's I don't know how long I still have to say it until people consider that really like Python 2 is the past. So anyway, so yeah, I started using Python during my first data science job, and then since that I can't stop. I switched from R, and then once I started Python, I just can't stop. I just go 100% Python, and I have been also been contributing to a lot of open source projects. I have been involved in a lot of projects that is making using Python to make tools that is free to use. That includes Terminus DB. That is the project that I actually working on full time right now. They have like this Python client that I I work with my team, but I mainly will be responsible for the Python client. And so that's really cool. It's a graph database, and basically they support me doing all this now because yeah, basically I work for the company behind it, and they have this open source tool that is free to use for a lot of personal project. Is a graph database. It's super cool. We got like more attention at the moment because we just got lots of people saying, oh, we have all this data that like we want to try using it, and I think it's really good. So if you are watching it, and if you have a project that is related to graph database, check it out. um, Other things, I'm very active in the Python community. Because I love the Python community, one of the nicest community on earth, I would say. People are super nice, super helpful. Like especially when I was a beginner, when I have questions, there are always somebody happy to answer. Um, like like I remember somebody saying like if you go to a Python conference, if they have these like beginner workshop thingy, like even more experienced Pythonists will go there because they hope that they will find a mentor that kind of help them with these new things that they're trying that they're not so familiar with. So that's amazing. The communities just like help each other. So this year, lots of conferences go online, so including EuroPython, one of the conference that I'm organizing. So we'll have a um, uh, online conference this year. We'll go back to Dublin because we were planning. You can see the logo there, like it's the third one, like at the bottom. So it's the designs are Irish. We plan to go to Dublin this year, but we will, well, because of like what happened right now, we are going to do it next year. We will do a online one instead. So I also run Python sprints, which encourage people to contribute to open source projects, and I also trying to have a online conference at the end of the year. Um, so enough about me. I want to spend more time because we have like on the workshop, because like today we have a lot of things that we are going to cover. It's going to be quite a lot. So I really recommend you, if you're watching, um, yeah, just type in your questions because I know that it's not, I cover quite a lot. And even if you are catching up afterwards, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter, or if you go to my Twitch page, there's actually a question and answer box there that I put it up. So it's quite like down. You have to scroll down. It's like ask a streamer question. So you can type any Python question there. I try to answer you. If not, I would try to point you to an expert on it. So yeah, I'm trying to help everybody. So to recap, what we have done last week is that we have learned some Python object, some basic ones like including numbers, they're integers, whole numbers, which include zeros, positive and negative numbers that without decimal. Float is the decimal numbers. There are many type of decimal numbers. Actually, there's also many type of integers, but we just focus on the basic type, which is int. But there are others that in the future, if you are doing some math that require like other integer type, then you can use it. Same as float, same as decimal number. Float is the most common type. When you have a decimal number, you have to deal with it. Float usually is working well. Like I said, like there are other choices, but they're less frequently used. There are also complex number, which I'm not going to cover because I assume not everybody is a scientist that's going to deal with complex number. So yeah, and that's something that maybe you can discover in the future. String, str is a string. String is a sequence of characters. So basically, a word is a string, a sentence is a string. So that's the very common type of showing text in the program. So we have some Python functions. I have a typo here. Oh God, again the slides was prepared last night like 3 a.m. like actually today 3 a.m. So typos are everywhere. I haven't like been like awake enough to double check, or even like I will overlook. So I will fix all the typos. So after this stream, you will see that it's a better slides when we're ready. So Python functions, they are print that let you, we'll use a lot today, that lets you print out what's in a variable. Or even like you can print out strings, you can print out the formatted strings that I've covered again like last tutorial, so you can check the details. We're gonna use some of them today as well, so it's good to remember what we have learned, because everything just built on top of each other. So if you have so that's why I recommend people to do the homework afterwards if you're watching. So it doesn't matter. All of this, even though if you don't join me live, all of this will be recorded, and so you can always, do it at your own pace to learn it. So yeah, so that's that. And length, is the length of a string, how many characters in the string, including special characters and spaces. And type is a function to check what type that thing is. So if I have a variable, because in Python a variable is like like a cup that could hold, hold tea, hold coffee, hold any beverages that you actually put it in. So sometimes you want to know what's in the cup. So is it a coffee or is it tea? Like tell me what it is. So what kind of beverages is it? Like, so type is how you check it. And exit, if you want to end your Python, when you're in the console, Python console, you want to exit. So it would just give you back, to your terminal, normal terminal. We have done some arithmetic calculations with the numbers, and there are some catches and some things that, tiny little things that is a beginner's trap. So I recommend you go back to watch it. I cover as much uh, mistake that beginners could make as possible, so people won't, could avoid those mistakes. Um, so string concatenation. So with the plus sign, you can actually, stick two strings together. Um, F string, so it's a very it's formatted string, so it's a very useful way of putting variables in your string. So it's quite very flexible way of constructing a sentence that is basically a template of a sentence, or like a template of a string that you could put variables in it. String can also, you can find an element of a string. So remember we used the hello as an example last time, so we can uh, get back one of the characters in the string. It started with 0, so the capital H is 0 and then E will be 1. So the hello 1 will give you E. So you can also get a section of the string. So this one is getting like the N of it, so it's just O. But but you can also get, like, if you put colon 4, you get like HERO. So any questions? Like, I haven't received any questions since last time. So nobody's asking question in the live chat, so I assume that everybody's fine. Like I said, if you have questions, ask me anytime in the box, or ask me Twitter. You can just tag me on Twitter. Yeah, again, like I've tried to answer your question. If not, I would point you to somebody that is expert in that topic. So um, So first of all, I think today we still have a lot of different types of objects on the cover. So one of them is a Boolean. So Boolean is actually again a very common type that you deal with in Python. Basically, what does it mean? Like, it's fancy name Boolean, but it just mean true or false. So it's only two values in Boolean: true, false. So in Python, true need to be capitalized. So capital T R U E. I know in other programming languages it could be, small cap or whatever, but in Python the capitalized is very important. If it's not capitalized, so it won't be recognized as a as the Boolean value. Um, so logic operations. So for Booleans, you can carry out operations. So it's like a logic, right? So it's like if true and true is true, true and false is false, true or false is true, false or false is false. So all these logic operations, I assume that you have a little bit of knowledge about it. It's like your mathematical logic operations. But if not, there's also online resources that is available. You can learn a little bit more. Also, there's not. So not to just flip it, like if true, not true become false. So not false become true. So just flip it around. And funny thing is, so you can actually like interchange type in Boolean. So okay, let's do the exercise, and I'll explain more about like what means by false includes zero and empty string, and true are the rest. So this bit I think it's better to like show, um, tell by showing. So um, I have all these exercises like written here. So if you have your Python terminal ready, so you can see mine down there. It's like popping now because I'm touching it in my computer. So there are things that you can type. You can see that I have a little semicolon there, which means that it's the next line. You can also do that in Python to means that there are actually two different commands, but it's not commonly used. Usually, you just put it in a new line. I do it like this because the slides doesn't have that much space, so I try to save some space. So what I want you to do, you can see like what I'm doing now. So true and so sorry, my mistake. I have to go to Python first. So you have to type Python. So I'm now in the terminal. So go to Python. You will see these three arrows, which means that you're in Python. So now you can do the Python thing in here. Otherwise, you can't do it. You will have an error. So now I'm in Python. I can type true and true. So what would that be? That would be true. So it's like your logic. So true and false will be false. So it's false. Not true. Just flip it around, become false, and true or false. So all these need to be capitalized. So like I mean like true or false needs to be capitalized, and those operations and or and not need to be lowercase. Uh, so Python is very strict on indentation and also the capitalization. So yeah, so uh, stick with it because that's the rules in programming. You have to stick with these things, especially in Python. So true or false is true. So like I said, actually you can change interchange type in remember we have done this, right? So let me so we have done that like int int one would give you an integer one and a string, you know or let's try like what will happen if I type this. So I can't do it like this. So like yeah, all this trailing zero give you an error. Yeah. So I haven't tested that actually. I just have this crazy idea of changing it. But yeah, string like changing the string will be a string. So so we can actually change things into Boolean. So for example, let's check the type of true. So give like tell me what is true. So like I said, you keep the capitalized correct. So it's recognized as a boolean. So I could show you the wrong thing, right? So if you don't capitalize it, it will give you an error because it just Python doesn't recognize true as a boolean if it's not capitalized, and it just think that it's one of your variable, and it's trying to look for it, and you haven't defined any variable, so it's just saying not defined. What if like I make this crazy thing true equals to um, true. No, like that's too confusing. True, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if I type of true, so this will tell me it's an integer because without the capitalized, the true is referring to the variable. You remember the cup that is holding 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 is an integer, so it's an integer. So yeah, like true or false with the capitalized. If you ask what type is it, it's the boolean. So, but like int and str, you can you can interchange the type. So I can use this to change the type of an object. So what is the boolean of one? It's true. What is the boolean of zero? This is false. So it's something very interesting because I thought, oh, like because computer is dealing with only 0 and 1s, right? Because computers, so a little bit common knowledge about computers. So computer is like actually a semiconductor that kind of it could take in a thing. It could like let your electricity pass through or not. So it's either on or off. So it's like on off switch. So like your computer is consists of a lot of this. Actually, your CPU, the processor of your computer, is actually consists of a lot of this like on off switch that is either on or off. So 0 means it's off, 1 means on. So with this 0 and 1, you can do a lot of things. You can do binary calculations with this like true or false. So true or false is the basic thing in computer. So with all these, actually with all these logical operations, so if you like read a lot more, so all these logic operation and or, and there are others like x and x or, all these are actually uh, a, operations that handle this series of 0 and 1s, and to so these operations actually could do a lot, perform a lot of things. It could perform arithmetic calculations. It could also do what we are doing now, the logic operations, and that's the basic component of your computer. And using all this is actually like with a lot of people develop like software programs, like some that all of the things you do with your computer is just this bunch of zeros and ones and doing this logic operations. So that's really fascinating facts for me. So it's difficult to explain like briefly, but if you're interested in all this, I have books that I could recommend you. I think I'll put in the description um, for you to read if you're interested in all these like computer basics. Uh, because I study science. I do attend some computer classes at school, but I wasn't like trained with all these like knowledge. Well, I kind of know this knowledge, but I was not trained like professionally to do that. I was not trained to be a computer scientist. So all these kind of knowledge, I think is good to acquire to understand how a program works, how your computer works. So yeah, so I would put some link below for some books that you could read if you are not from a computer science background. So okay, back to the boolean. So we can change the type of it in Python. So boolean 1 is true, boolean 0. So actually, it's not just 1. You can put any numbers there, and it will be true. So only 0 is considered false. Others will be true. You can even put like negative numbers there. So it's also true. So only 0 is false. So same with string. So string, if it's an empty string, so you can remember we can use double quote or single quote. So this is false, and single quote is the same. So it's nothing there, so it's false. So what if I put like, no, maybe this time put A, B, C, D. That would be true. So again, you can use a double quote for a string. Is as long as you close it with the same thing, then it's a string, and because it's not empty, it's true. So so that's that. And because you can do this interchanging of format, you can actually perform um this logic operation on other things. This is a bit like funny, and this is not good, like a common practice. So 0 and 1 is straightforward, right? So 0 is false, 1 is true. Like I said, it's the like a basic binary operations in computer. So that makes sense. False and true is false, and same as 1 and 1. So true and true, so it's true. But you can do funny things because I said that it's not just 1 is considered true, right? So you can do this funny thing, and Python is giving you 4, or maybe it's giving me the second one, right? So is it always true that it's giving me back the second one? Let's try. So yeah, so 3 and 4, and it gave me 4. Um, yeah, so I don't know why. Like it's like, what's the logic? Is it like give me the second one? So um, it seems like so. But what if I do like with 4 and 0 give me back 0, right? So let's try. Nope. So, uh, no, like 4 and 0, of course, gives, sorry, it's too early again. I'm saying rubbish at the moment. So, yeah. Okay, 0 and 4. This is what I'm gonna try. Because like it seems like it's always give me that second one, but 0 and 4, so force and truth I should get a force, but it still knows that it needs to give me a force. So it seems that all of this kind of makes sense, and yeah, like I said, is not a good way of doing binary operations. It's just like I want to test that this how this work. But if you change the type of it, like, because it's true, like if you change all of this, like so if you want to, yeah, it's just like nobody really does like 3 and 4, right? So so yeah, I'm just like testing it. So you rarely do it like this. Maybe 0 and 1, but for me, I don't really do it. I just do like true or false, all this stuff. And you could do comparison operations as well, which I think I would cover it next week when I was talking about the flow. So you have if and else, so it's control the flow. I'll cover more about it. Actually, it's difficult to just talk about Boolean by itself. Um, it's usually just talk up. It will also talk about the flow, like if else, then you would use Boolean more. So yeah, let's try out these strings things as well. And I'm just gonna copy and paste this time. Just gonna save some time here. Yep, missing one. Right. Yeah, missing all these colons. Sorry. So apple. So there's something in it. So it's true. An empty string. So if, of course it's false. So it gives you back an empty string. It's funny that it's always give you back the type that is that you use in the in your arguments. So if you do it with the string, it will give you string. So I'm curious about like what if I do this? So okay, it'll give me 0 for some reason. So what if I do this? Okay, it's just give me the first one for some reason. I think, oh, I know what happened. So okay, I'm discovering things on the go. So what happened is that because the first thing is false, so for and need to be both of them need to be true, right? So if Python see the first one is false, it just doesn't care about the second one. It doesn't look at the second one. If the first one is false, it's got to be false anyway. So it's just got to output the first thing, because it's a false. It's a false, right? So 0 is a false, empty string is a false. So just give me the first thing. So it doesn't even look at the second one. So that's why it gives me its first thing. First thing. This is super interesting. What if yeah, now it's different. You see, like it's give me the second thing. Oh my god, this is super fascinating. I think in the future we should do some sessions about Python internals. I think that would be super interesting. And I know that Naomi also now doing some streaming as well. So if you interested in Python, she talk about more advanced topic. I can actually like I don't know how this Ray thing work and stuff, but she's on Twitch as well. So follow her. I would also put her Twitch like link down below. So this is super fascinating. This is like I want to know how like Python internal work. So maybe next time when I go back to Boolean again, I can give you more information about how all these things work. This is just super interesting, and I realized I have a typo in here. That's why when I copy it, it doesn't work. So anyway, I think you got the idea, and I would. Like I said, I would tidy up the slides, and then when you are watching it afterwards, you would be able to know what's happening, and you would be able to try it yourself. So right. So a list is you can see is a bunch of things that so it's a sequence of things. So a funny thing about list and string is that a lot of operations that is valid on string is also valid on list is because they're both a sequence of something. So actually in Python they are both considered a sequence object. So it's like a family tree. So they are actually like brother and sisters. So list also got a cousin or maybe brother or sister. So it's called Tuple. So I would talk about that a little bit later. And string, they are all like something called sequences. No, they are all like belongs to family of sequences. So they're all related to each other. So a lot of operations actually can apply to both, which I can show you later. So that include the length. Um, so uh, yeah, so for the list, so list 1, 2, 3 is so you can see we have 3 elements. So each of them is they are integers. So so I have 3 integers, integer 1, integer 3. So as like I said, the string and list they are cousins. So you can think that if you have that list and give me the first element, which is 0, that will give you back 1. So it's also zeroed indexed. So if you don't know what zero index is, go back to the last tutorial. I talk about strings. I explain a little bit there. So list is also zero index. So for example, this A, B, C. So A, the index of A is 0, B is 1, and C is 2. Um, but the thing about list, you can mix different type in it. So you can have the first element, index 0, is a number. The second one is a string. The last one is a float. It's okay. It's it's super flexible. The empty list is just a square bracket with nothing inside. Other crazy things, you can multiply it. So what happened for this one? I think I want to show you what happened to this one. So I'll just put it in my terminal. So it will just copy it 3 times. Happy, happy, happy. So actually you can do that with string as well. I think I forgot to tell you last time. So like W times 3. W, W, W. So yeah, like so it's not just, remember we have this uh remember, yeah, okay. Yeah, my typing is super bad recently because I have this new keyboard, which is super tiny. It's not for Mac, and yeah, it's just funny. Okay, so WW. So I can concatenate. So if you want to concatenate 3 times, you can just use the time 3. So or times 2 for 2 times. So uh, it's very logical. It makes sense, and I really love it. So for list, you can do the same thing. You can have something like this. I think I'll have this later. 0, 0, 0. Yeah. So list can also concatenate, like here as an example. You can do this. Oh, I have some typo again, I think. Oh, I have this space here. You see, like spaces are a enemy for you. So I will show you actually in my IDE that I always have, later when we are doing the programming. So the spaces, like I always show the invisible spaces in my IDE. So because it's super important for Python, that you make sure that there's no white space at the end. Well, it will still work, but it's just not good practice. So like I said, if you have a list, you can pick the third element of it. So let's see. So if I have a list that is, let's say my list is this cat, dog, hamster, right? So I have a list. So what is the second element, which is index 1? So it's dog. Yeah. So just like a string. So it's super neat. And let's try something crazy. So I want everybody to try this with me if you are watching it, either like live or not. So um, basket 1, I have 10 apples. You can mix stuff, right? So it's fine. I have basket 1. You can actually check. So I don't type print a lot in this terminal because it's just a shorthand for me that it will print out the last element of it if it's not assigning something in it. But it's a good practice to use print because in your actual program you would actually need to use print a lot. So basket 1 is 10 apples. So I can also do the same for basket 2. I'll just copy it. right? So because, like I said, a list could put different, it could basically it's like a bunch of cups. It could hold, and like each cup can hold anything. So I can actually do something like this. So I have a total that is holding basket one and basket two. So basket one is a list. Basket two is a list. So I can have a list that have two lists inside. So it's a nested list. It could go to a very complex thing, and sometimes you have to do it this way. Um, for some, especially for math, if you have a matrix, so you actually have a list that represent a column, and then a list that represent that. Okay, put all these columns together as a matrix for me. So um, so that's how you do it, like to represent a matrix of things. So okay, now I want to know what's the second, like what's the first thing in basket two, and it's actually 12. But let's say this is like a customer. A customer say like, oh, actually, you know what? I'm not going to buy 12 bananas. I want to buy 9 bananas instead. So I can change it. So now if you look at basket two, so if I do basket two again, um, it give me 9 bananas instead. And if I look at total, it will change. So um, so you can see that's the thing here, right? So total is consists of basket one and basket two. I make some changes to basket two, and it populates to total. So total kind of knows that basket two has been changed, and this is a super neat behavior. But the thing is, sometimes we want it, sometimes we don't. So what's going to happen here is that a list is a mutable object. That means that you can change the element of it, like we did here with the basket, right? With basket two, I don't want 12 bananas. I want 9 bananas. I can change. I can change it from 12 to 9. Um, so that's why it's not hashable. So if you grab the slides at the beginning, so again, like links will be in this description, and so that's the link here. That what does that mean? What does hashable mean? There's a very good answer on Stack Overflow that for people who don't know what is a hashable, it doesn't come from a computer background. Read that. That would help you to clear some questions. So hashable just means that is a way of storing things in your computer more efficiently, and it requires you to have some logic in it that is not as flexible as if you don't do hashing. So one of the limitations is that you can't change it if you want to hash it. If you change it, I can't store it in this hashing way because it need to because of all this memory, all these things that I deal with to save space. I can't change it. It's once it's there, it's there. If I change it, it will or breaks everything. So just remember this for now. Something mutable is not hashable. Something hashable is not mutable. So they are opposite. You can either have one. You can't have both. Um, so that's why we have two things actually in Python. So what if I want a list that's hashable? You will see why sometimes we want list that is not hashable later. But if I want if I want a list that is not mutable, that is hashable. So mutable, hashable, I want hashable instead of mutable. So list is mutable, right? So I want hashable this time. Something called tuple. So tuple, instead of the square bracket, we use the just a normal bracket to hold things. So it's just like its cousin 1, 2 here. It could do the same thing. You can always also ask. So what's the what's the second element of it? It'll give you two. You can still ask what's inside, but let's say so okay. So type one. Okay, okay. Now we have to have two brackets because type also have its own bracket, and I have to put an extra one there. So yeah, it's a tuple. So what if I have my tuple, my tuple is equals to this. Okay, now I am doing the 0 apple again. No, 10 apples, so I buy 10 apples, but this time I'm using tuple to buy it. Okay, it's fine. So my tuple is the typing is really killing me. Okay, my tuple give me like how many apples did I get? 10. Okay, fine. But what if I don't want 10? Like I want to buy 12 of it. Actually, I want more apples. I love apples. You can't now because you can't change things into a tuple. It's not mutable now. It's hashable, so it's not mutable. So yeah. So sorry. You can't change your mind this time. Um, So yeah, so that's the tuple basics for you. Don't think too much about it. Just remember that it's the cousins of list, but instead of mutable, it's hashable. And yeah, so I know there are lots of interview questions to test whether you kind of know something about Python. Who asked you what's the difference between a list and a tuple. This is a very common question. So if you're trying to get a Python or data science job, that would be helpful for you to know. Yeah, for interviews. So that's for you. Yeah. So like I demonstrate with the basket thing before that, because list object elements are by reference. So what happened with the total here, right? Let me actually like let me screw up for you to see. Mm, okay. So total, yeah, here total, basket one basket. Um, So what was done here is that actually Toto will remember the reference to basket one and the reference to basket two. Instead of storing what's inside basket two and basket one, Toto will just okay, okay, like again, like what's happened inside your computer. So in your computer, if you store something, actually it's so how your computer knows that there's some information stored in here. So everything got an address. So like yeah, it's like your data got an address. So there's an address that your computer knows where to find the information, the data that you store or variable that you store. So each variable actually have an address. So basket one and basket two also have an address. So total, instead of storing the values of basket one and basket two, so instead of storing what's inside, it store the address of basket one and basket two. So it store the reference to it. So it doesn't matter if the contents of basket one or basket two change because total doesn't care about the content. It only cares about the address of basket one and basket two. So you can change anything in basket one and two, and when you ask print total, what's inside total, total just like, oh hey basket one, what's inside you? Okay, I'll print it. And oh hey basket two, what's inside you? I'll print it. So at only at that time total will grab the information about what's inside basket one and two and print it out for you. So that's why if because total is a list, is mutable, and basket two is a list, is mutable. So you feel free to change anything inside basket two, and and total like well total could also be like let's see if I can have I think this would be super funny if like okay yep you can have a tuple of basket one and basket two. So if I now change the content of basket one, so I have basket one, so like I am not buying 10 apples, like I said I want to buy 12 apples. So right, so now give me the so yeah now it's even though like now this time is a tuple, so this new total I should name it new total. So this new total is not mutable, but because well it just means that I can't have I can't have a basket three to replace basket two because uh, I can't change basket one and basket two's address because that's what's stored in the tuple. But because basket two is a list is mutable, so you can change the content of basket two and it will just print it out for me. So Yeah, so this is, but I hope you understand. I don't know whether I do a good job of like explaining it, but this is, I'm trying to like push a little bit of more advanced information here, because I think it's good for beginners to know all this different, even though you don't fully understand. You're aware that there are difference here, and there are all this crazy stuff happening. So sometimes if you come into an area of or if you're dealing with like list or triple objects, then you know that if there's a bug or something, that it maybe this behavior is working behind the hood without you paying attention. So yeah, so this is so so all this, like the total and new total, this new total, because they store the address of basket 1 and 2. So if the content inside change, it will also populate the changes. So yeah, that's what I want you to try here. This is something that I've done before. I've made this mistake and it really kills me. It's like, what? Why? I spent so much time. Don't know why it doesn't work for me, or my code doesn't work. And I found out that because there is a funny behavior in this list thing. So I was dealing with a matrix. So this is just a simple example, right? So a row of three zeros. So yeah, well, I told you that we can do the multiplication, right? So instead of 0, 0, 0, I can just do. I'm lazy. I can just do it like this. And now I have an array to hold. You know, well, I want an array of 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So this do the job. So it's just like it gives me three zeros, and then three times. It's like kind of like an array of 0, 0, 0, 0, 9 zeros. Um. So yeah. Uh. So that works. So we have already learned it. But the catch is that I want to change the first. So it's a matrix. So I want to change the first one to 1. So what I did is like, so this seems completely valid, right? So what it does is like give me the first row, and then the first element of the first row I want it to be 1 instead of 0, right? So, but what I get if you print it out, what? I only what? So yeah, uh uh now you understand why after I have explained all these mutable and non-mutable things with the basket shopping list thing, right? Because what happened here is that, well, row is you know is passed by reference here. So what happened in array actually is just like, oh, address of row 3 times. So if I change anything in row, because this three address here are the same, so they would always be the same. So even if I just want to change the first element of the first row, not the second and third, because basically they are referring to the same row, so they need to be the same. So the first, second, and the third row need to be the same. So I can't change only one of it. Boomer, no way. Um, but there's a other way of doing it. In Python, there is a built-in module. There's a built-in function. So there's a built-in module called copy, and in copy there's a built-in module called it's a built-in function called copy. It's a copy.copy. So a module named copy has a function called copy in it that you could use. So so we have to import this module though. I would talk about importing a module in the future episodes, in the future tutorials. But right now, just you know, you just know that I have import this copy module. It's built-in module. It comes with all your Python thing. It just doesn't load automatically when you start Python because it's not that common. But it's quite common, but it's not very very common. So but it's there. It's installed there for you. But if you want to use it, you have to import it. You have to load it in when you use it. So I have this road 0 times 3 again. I don't have to do this again because I already have it. So this time, instead of doing array row times 3, is a little bit more complicated. So what it does here is that, so for the first so for the first row in an array, just copy this row thing for me. Don't refer to the address of this row. So what happened for this copy thing is that take the address of this row, see what's inside, make a copy of it, and pass back the new address of this new thing. So basically it's making a clone of it and put it here. So same as the second and third one. So this time, if I do the same thing, I change the first element of it, and oh yeah, I have, what happened here? Uh, Oh yeah, I haven't changed. Oh yeah, row was changed, sorry, like, yeah. I haven't, yeah, that's my bad. So what happened here is that, oh, I haven't changed row, that's why it's still there. Okay, let's change row again. So we all do all this again. Sorry about that. My bad. My laziness is getting me now. So again, like row now, I'm sure that row is 0 times 3, right? So again, 0 times 3. So you can see like now 0, 0, 0. Make free copy for me, and this time I can change the first element of it, and it won't change the second and third one because they are separate copies. So this address is different from this address is different from this address. So if I change this one, it doesn't affect the second and third one. So this is what happened. I spent lots of time of explaining it. I hope you get it. If you don't worry. It's just good to know these things exist. If you come into questions in the future, you know where you can double check, and then you will have a better understanding of this. So all of us go through the gauntlet of making all these mistakes when we were a beginner, and then that's when we learn about all this. I'm telling you in the front, so you have an idea. And in the future, if you come into a problem like this, instead of going crazy on Stack Overflow, you remember what I said and just okay, let me have a look at what's inside and what happened. Yeah. Right. Also, sorry, like this is super long. This tutorial is gonna be like more than 1 hour for sure. Now it's already an hour. So sorry about that. I am pushing you all to a limit of learning things. So yeah. So list. List um is the list of, you can do a lot of Boolean functions. So I also put in like a tutorial article for you that is, you can check all these Boolean functions, what they do, etc., etc., etc. So it's been really quiet in the chat room today, and I'm really like conscious because what happened on Friday is I have streamed for an hour, and then my colleague tell me after I've been streaming that I was not live, but I'm looking at Twitch and I'm live, so it should be fine. Let me just spend a few minutes double check. I'm paranoid about it. Is it just me or everybody's seeing me live? So if everybody's seeing me live, okay, it's good. Right, yeah. So I think just like too early on a Sunday morning then. Right. So not Sunday morning, it's like 1 already, but like for me it's like morning. I still feel very tired, but anyway, so let's go these Boolean functions that you could use. So like some of them, like length, is just like the length, like the string that you can do. Like, oh, by the way, string is actually not. String is actually funny. String is a okay. Let's try something. So I have a name. Let's say is um, Chuck. Okay. So what if I want to change my name instead of Chuck? I want to change it to a okay. I want to change I I want to add an exclamation mark to the end of my name because that's cool. Right. So no, actually I want to change the K into exclamation mark because that's cool. It's like, I just want to be cool. Okay. So remove 0. So C is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this k is 4. So right. Let's double check. Okay. So I want to change the k into an exclamation mark. Can I do that? No, because string is like a tuple. It's not mutable. Um, so yeah, it's just to let you know. So string is not mutable. It's hashable. Okay, so like remember we can do length name, right? So you gave me 5. So it's the same for the list. So for example, if I want to know how many elements are in my previous list total, so I have 2. I have basket 1 and basket 2, right? So I have 2 things. So you also use length to do it. And append lets you append something. So let's try this. So I have a list of apple and I want to add a banana there. Do I do it like this? Right, I want to add banana. So let's oh, it's not printing out. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So that's the thing, right? So that's why you have to use print. Yeah, so that's one of the example when print doesn't work, right? So oh, okay, sorry. My bad. So yeah, what happened is like yeah, I have to change all this. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. There's all these like little traps you can see here. I'm showing you a trap. So append actually would change the list, but the whole thing will return none. So yeah, I have to assign Apple to be my shopping list. Mm-mm-mm. Right. Okay. So now I can do shopping list dot append. Let's say I append a banana here, like I did before. Right. So yeah. So if you, cause like shopping list dot append, so like this here, shopping list dot append itself is it will give you none because this whole operation will return a none. So when I talk about function definition, then you would understand more about what I mean by returning something. So this will return a none, but what it does under the hood is that it will change the content of the shopping list. So now if I type shopping list, so there's 2 things, apple and banana. But wait a second, that's strange. Why banana has the bracket there? Because append would add the thing in the list by element. So now the element that it would pass in is a list that only have one thing, a banana in it. So it would just put the list there. It is not what we want, right? So the correct way of doing it is to just put the element banana in it. Oop. And now shopping list we have 3 things because we have put that in before. So we have this. What if I want to delete this banana that I've put it in before? I don't like it anymore. Oh yeah, you can actually use pop. So I can demonstrate pop here. So um, so shopping list is so 0, 1, 2, right? I got 3 things. So I want that banana list that I put in by mistake to be gone. So so it would, so I do the pop. So I put in the index of the second element, which is 1. So pop 1, and yeah, it pop it back to me. So now this return what I've removed. So it's just like a list, pop it out and return that one, and the list has been changed. So let's check the list has been changed. Yep, it's only apple and banana. Um, so well, like before, you can always do like this, right? So if you have the bracket, you can just do like, so this, yeah, this is the same, but this one would return, so this one will return the result list for you. So all these operations, some of them return nothing, some of them return something else. So yeah, it's a bit complicated here. Um, I would, so you would get to know all this behavior, but I would cover more when we do the when we explain how a function in Python work. Then you understand more about what this craziness about. So yeah, because they return different things. All these operations return different things. That's why, sometimes just print out the whole thing. Sometimes it doesn't. It's print out the things that have been deleted. Sometimes just print out nothing, like the none here above. So yeah. So this is a mistake that I made quite a lot actually, because like I want to add something in, but actually the operation give me nothing. If I want it, I want to see it like by looking at what's happening inside the element here. Um, yeah, so it's good that I show you that so you can avoid that and kind of know what mistake you made. So like pop, it lets you delete something, it pops something else. So it's look at all the index. So okay, I want to pop this out. So so let's try this one. List here. Right. So yeah, so if you don't put anything in the pop here, so you can see that, it'll just pop the last one. It's just by default pop the last one. But if you want any specific ones, you need to put in the index there. So that's just want to show you that. And you can also remove an element by calling it. Ooh, it's not subscribable. Remove what? Oop. Okay, let me do it slowly. I'm quite surprised to see this error here. Oh yeah, I have a mistake here. Sorry about that. It should not be square bracket. It's like I said, the slides are full of mistakes because I made it 3 a.m. in the morning. Okay. Yep, you can call an element and and then you know basically ask. So what remove does is that okay, I want to remove this thing that is inside of the list, but I don't know where it is. I don't know the index of it. Just check everything and see if you see anything that is a Y, just remove it for me. That's what it does. And what if you remove something that's not there? So list now list is x and y, x and z. Let's say like remove a. It'll give you an error because oh I can't find it. I can't find an a in the list. Why do you want me to remove it? So what you can do? Oh, it's actually it's a spoiler. I would talk about that later. But what you can do is like check whether a is in the list first. So it's not. So don't do it if it's not. Yeah. So when we have, when we use if else, then we can check it before you operate it. We'll cover more next time. It's getting super long now, and like all these things work together supposedly, so it's difficult to just talk about one thing and not do the other. Um, you can calculate the sum of a list. So it's like this. Yep. So it's 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, and you can sort out a list. So 1, 2, 3, like I am calling the sort reverse equals to true. So sort it from the biggest to the smallest. It's 3 to 1. So now I can actually do it like so I can do it again, and so without the reverse equal to true, you just sort it with the smallest to the biggest. So for A B C D like or the strings that it would do alphabetical order. So what happened under the hood is that each alphabet actually was assigned a number to it. So actually, what would happen with this? Oh, you can't do it like this with Python. Yeah, Python, because Python will try to change it into a number for you. But there's another function that you can see what's the value assigned behind each alphabet, and it will just sort the list for you according to the alphabet. So it will be in alphabetical order. So if you have apple, oranges. Oop. Ah, that's why I like an IDE. I can highlight it easily. Hmm, orange. It's difficult to spell like for some reason. It's just like I can never type oranges. Pear. Well, now it's already in order, right? So let me add some more. Banana. Right. So I have this list. So if I sort it, so So now, yeah, I just sorted in alphabetical order. So that's the sorting for you, and a list, you can't count the element in it. So what I want to do is to count how many ones in the list, in this crazy list. So how many ones in it? 4. Because 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 4 ones in this list. So just count how many 4s in it for me, please. So if I count something that doesn't exist there, so yeah, it's another way of checking whether something is in it, right? So if you count it and it's not thing, so it hasn't been seen before, so yeah. Right. Oh, it has been an hour already. We still have dictionary. We still have a lot to cover. Um, yeah. So a dictionary is a key value pair. Um, so well, I would just explain by doing. So I have this funny example. So it's something in a curly bracket. So dictionaries. Oh yeah, I can't have the space here. Uh, it's gonna be annoying to type. Okay, what I gotta do is, okay. So I got add how to equals to here. So things in curly brackets are a dictionary, right? Okay. So you can see that there are 3 pairs of key values. So it's key colon value. So this is the first key value pair, comma 2, comma put the elephant in, and then the third one. So all these pairs are separated by commas, and you link them by the colon and put them in curly brackets. So you can actually print out the element of it. So I want the second step. What should I gotta do? So instead of, remember, when we deal with a list, the second element is 1, right? Because we have 0 index. So instead of that, we can just type 2, put the elephant in, because we assigned this to have a key of 2. So instead of looking at what's the index or what's the order, actually it doesn't have order in the dictionary. So all these things could be in a different order. So I can have a how to, and the order is all messed up, right? So oh, I can't do it like this. So okay. So yeah, I can actually. I'm not going to type the whole thing now, but of course it would be very very slow with my tiny keyboard. So what's gonna happen is that it just, for a dictionary, it would just everything is just recognized by the key. So the order doesn't matter anymore. So actually there's no order in a dictionary. Um, so what if, oh, wait a second, I forgot a step because there's already a giraffe in the fridge. So what I gotta do is that I gotta add a step 1.5, right? Let's take the giraffe out. Well, you can actually do that. So now how to is like open the door, put everything in. You can see that the order doesn't matter, right? So 1.5. This is weird because it's on the second line. Let me just see if I can make it bigger. Right. Okay. So now you can see that. Um, yeah, take the giraffe out. 1.5, take the giraffe out. So it won't put it like in between 1 and 2 because the order doesn't matter. And also the key can be anything. It could be, well, not anything. It's just like anything that's hashable actually. So it could be a number, it could be a float, it could even be a string. So remember, string is hashable, right? So it's okay to be used as a key. So I can put, goal is to put the elephant in the fridge. So now, if you want to see what's in how to, so yeah, the goal is to put the elephant in the fridge. Um, so yeah, it's super flexible this way. You just have you just reference anything by the key. So yeah, so this is so you can actually print out like the keys. So there are also like functions for dictionary, right? So there's one called keys that will give you all the keys. So you can step 1, 2, 3, step 1.5, and the go. You can also call the values. You can also have a look at the values. So it gives you all the things you put inside. So yeah, it will be useful in the future. We'll come across them later. You'll understand more when you see them in action. So also you can get the items, where it's just like the pair, but it, instead of showing you in a dictionary format, what it does is that it'll put all these key value pairs in tuples. Remember the normal brackets are the tuples, and then put all these tuples, all these pairs as a list, so square bracket here. So it just changed the format of how this dictionary is represented. It become useful when we learn about for loop, but we just have a look like here for now, and we'll go through them again in the future. So yeah, like I said, key of a dictionary need to be hashable. So you can't do it like this. So this will give you an error. Yep, because you can see unhashable type list. So yeah, so when you see this, now you know what this error message mean, right? What is hashable? So why list is not hashable? But if you change 1 and 2 list, instead of 1 and 2 list, you have 1 and 2 tuple. So it works. Um, yeah, so checking whether something is in the list, you can check whether something is in the key of a dictionary. So I've showed you the list before. That a list 1, 2, 3, you can check whether things in the list, but for a dictionary you can do that as well. So yeah, so let's try the first one first. So let's try, is there step 4 in how to? Oh, I didn't delete it. Okay, so whether step 4 is in how to? No, it's not. But whether go is in how to? Yes. So this is what it is. So let's write some programs. So let me quickly do this, and then so this time is gonna be a little bit different. I gotta upload the this because like instead of writing a homework from scratch, I'm trying to make a template for you. So you just finish the rest of the program, so you get more guidance about how to do this. But I gotta put the link again here with all this code that I gotta do now. So let's go to my IDE. So here, okay. Create a catalog item, and so it's like item and price and a shopping list. So okay, so what I gotta do is Python basics. No, I gotta create a new folder here so you can see my ID in action now. So I want to have a new folder. That is no, this is not correct. Okay, sorry. New folder. Okay, so I'll put the date here so it's easier for people to find the tutorial. You can just check the date of like when I publish it, and you can see find the code easier. Um, so today is the uh, actually I forgot, like 19th. Yes. Uh, so Python basics 2, right? Okay. So yep. So okay, I will create a new file that I'm gonna name. What am I gonna name? Shopping checkout.py. Shopping checkout.py. Right. Okay. So what I gotta do is like I would have a catalog, right? So catalog is I would have a apple, and how much is an apple? 1.5 pounds. Oh. And I would have some bananas. Banana would be 50p. Actually 80p. The price has gone up because yeah, everybody wants banana. What else do we have? Toilet paper. That's very important. Toilet paper. Oh, I have to put it in. Sorry. Toilet paper. So I have, let's say toilet paper only come in 6, and for each 6 roll, it would be like, let's say £2. Oh, yeah, because everybody's crazy about toilet paper right now. Okay, so so I have all these things. This is my shop, right? I only sell 3 things, and somebody's coming for shopping. There's a shopping list. So so let's say checks shopping list, check shopping. So what I actually want I want a banana, and I am panic about toilet paper, so I gotta buy 2 packs of 6. So actually I gotta copy it. So I am a panic person. So actually I can do it in a faster way. So I have banana, I have toilet paper. Oh, I have toilet paper. Is this too small for you? Let me like make this bigger. Sorry about that. So I think that's better. If I can make it this so you can see, right? Okay. Toilet paper times 2. Right. So actually I can make this smaller. You can see better. Right. So now I have a catalog, and then Chuck is gonna buy a banana and 2 pack of toilet paper. Um, so so what I'm gonna print out? I gotta print out how much I have to pay. So okay, so let's print like Chuck is buying. So I want to use the F string here to show what I'm buying, right? So make sure that like I've got the thing, and is so let's we will do the calculation afterwards. I'm just like putting the output here, and is total pounds. Okay, right? And is, so use double quote. That's why I use double quote, because I can use single quote in here. Okay. So now that I have to calculate total, so total will be so total will be so check shopping. The first one would be the key of the catalog. So what happened here is that so check shopping would be the first one. So take the first shopping and find it in the catalog as a key, and now I have the price back in the catalog, right? So I can basically do the same for my second and third thing. Gotta do it 3 times. Oop. I don't mean to do that. Okay. Right. Copy this. Right. So I gotta do it with my second and the third thing that I have. So luckily I only have 3 things, right? So next week I gotta show you how to do this in a for loop, so you don't have to type 3 times. What if I buy 10 things? Then I would spend whole day typing, not whole day, but whole hour typing it, because you see I type very slowly. So but now we're not using a for loop, so we're just doing it like this for now, right? So okay, let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, I would just come back and fix it. I won't cry like a baby. So go back to my terminal. I have to exit the Python that I was in before. So now let's see. I have 2 folders. I want to go to the one that's today. So cd, change directory. So all these things, terminals. I hope you know how to use it, but just a quick recap for people who are not familiar. So rs is list all the things, all the folders and files inside the directory. So I can see 2 folders, and cd change directory. I want to go to one of the folders, so I gotta do some auto completion by using the tab. So when you tab, usually it will auto complete it for you. So now I'm in that directory. Sorry, I'm running out of space in my terminal. The names are super long. I don't know how to change it. You have to bear with me for now. Okay, so Python. So run that thing, right? So I forgot the name again. Okay, so what I gotta do? If I forgot the name, rs. Okay, shopping checkout. Okay, Python shopping should auto-complete it for me. And check is buying banana, toilet paper, and it's 4.8 pounds that I have to pay. Okay. Right, so this is the little program that we use the list and the dictionary. So what's the second one? So okay, this one is done, right? So okay, we're happy with it. Close it. I would upload it like afterwards. So okay, so let's make a new file. Okay, uh, new file. What's the name of it again? Sorry about that. Family checker. Okay, this one is more complicated. Okay, family checker. Okay, family checker. What am I gonna do? I gotta given a family tree, find if someone is someone's grandparents. Okay, so what am I gonna do here is that I'll have a made up family because like my parents like they I think they do have like Christian names that they kind of but they don't use it that much because well most because they are older generations most of the time they speak Cantonese and most of their friends just call them by their Chinese names. So yeah, um so uh no, I gotta make up a family. So let's say Mary. Mary. Okay, Mary. Um, so Mary's father. Okay, father is John, and mother is Lucy. Okay, just make it up. Okay, so John. Uh, John's father is David, and mother. I will run out of name very soon. In this way, it would be I don't know. Uh, I'm already running out of name. Okay, May. It's fine. Right. So Lucy, father is. I'm so bad with name as well. This is really like killing me. And this, yeah. Father is George, and mother is Teresa. Okay, right. So basically, well, this is a very simple family tree. You can make it super complex, but I'm not going to make it complex now because we haven't learned the control flow yet. It's super difficult to do things manually. We got to type all day. So, but next week when we learn the control flow, you will see that it's super convenient to have that in your pocket. Okay, so I want to know whether um, you know, so okay, let's find grandparents uh, of Mary. So yeah, in Python, I don't know whether I've covered before. In Python, the naming convention, where you can basically do anything without the white spaces. But in Python, we just use a snake case. This is called a snake case that we just use all small lowercase letter, and we would separate them by underscore. Um, some programming language they prefer camel case, like for example, grandparents of something like that. Some program, yeah. So, but in Python we use the snake case. We use camel case, but that's for the classes, and we are not going to cover that in a while. So let's stick with snake case for now. So, right. So grandparents of Mary. So instead of like just manually looking at it, imagine we have a super complex system. So, um, we would have so it would be Mary. Actually, this should be lowercase as well to stick with the convention. Sorry about that. Yeah, I gotta stick with the convention. of it. So no, actually this one. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. This one should actually be John without the. So I gotta just put John here, right? Okay. To make things easier for myself. Okay. So I just put this in here so I can reference it. So Mary's father would be father's father will be my how do you call that father's father? Parental parental grandfather. Um, so that's one of them. I'll put them in a list. So okay, I gotta do an append this time just to do things differently without the plus. I thought append a so Mary's mother's father, right? So okay, so I gotta. So you see, like this is not cool when you have so many things, but and you don't have the flow, and you make typing. Why am I typing mother wrong? This is super weird. Okay, I don't even recognize it. Like I was doing it wrong. Yeah. So father's father, mother's father, father's mother, and mother's mother. Okay. Right. Yeah, this is not cool when you don't have the control flow and you just have to do things, typing everything out. So now it's like um, print. So now it's like this person is, let's say, we'll have David, and then that person is Tom. Okay, print. Um, so use the F string, and you can see this is super useful. Okay. So this person is the grandparent is Mary grand granny question mark, and then the answer will be whether this person in the grandparents of Mary. So this is one, and then I would do for that person. So right, okay, so this person is, yes, so it's true or false. Okay, so let's try it. Try it. Okay, right. So what do I have? I always forgot the name. I'm so bad with names. Okay, Python family checker. Oop, I have a mistake. It's not defined. Ooh. Oh, sorry about that. I have to put that before. Yes. Okay, it's good to show you this. So because what I did before is I'm referencing John, but because Python do things it's doing it like synchronizing. So it's like doing things one by one. So when Python sees this first one, it's like, wait a second, what's John? I don't know John yet. But actually, like, so we have to change the order of it to put John and Lucy before Mary, because well, if John and Lucy hasn't been born, they can't get married and give birth to Mary. So that's also makes sense that I should put them first. Right. Okay. So let's try again. Right. David is Mary's granny. True. Tom is Mary's granny. False. So that's it. That's a very, very simple program. So I've done that, and what's happening next is the homework. So homework, I would make the homework template. Actually, like, you know what, I gotta make 2 folders here. So this gotta be examples that we have done in the tutorial, and I gotta make a new folder. This will be homework. So, okay, in homework, I gotta make this 2 for you. So I won't finish it for you, but you have to finish it yourself. So, file, new file. In homework, I have, what do I have? I have exam report. .py. So this one, there are 3 students. So there are, again, Mary. I have, I have to small case it, David and Tom. Okay. I want to small case this time. Sorry. Like, it needs to be small cases. No. Okay. Thank you. Right. Okay. So they all have the English and math exam. So, So English. So Mary's very good at English, but I don't want to stereotype. Okay, Mary's like me. It's not very good with spelling and all these things. So not good at English, but math would be super duper. Yeah, she's a math genius. Okay. David. David is a nerd and like reading, so English he is very well, but sometimes a bit careless, so makes some mistakes. It's 95. So he did really well, but like just some silly mistake there. Math, not so cool, but not too bad. Tom. Tom is Tom likes to is very sporty, like doing outdoors, so he's not hype with exams. So he's only doing so with exams. Okay. Right, you have these students, and then you want to report student and the average mark. So what we gotta do is that I want to calculate the average mark. So this needs to be fill in the calculation. Okay, this is for you to do, right? And um, and then okay, here then you print out the report. I am not going to tell you how to do it. Print out the report for each student. We did something similar last week. Not we did, but like the homework last week is similar. So if you have done it, you can just copy and make some changes. I welcome people to copy codes in your previous work, like because now the things are super easy. So I was saying that don't copy code from Stack Overflow online, but if you copy your own code, you know what you're doing is fine. It's good to do things from scratch to learn. In the future, if we do more complicated stuff, you're welcome to copy things online. I do sometimes as well. But for things that easy, don't copy things online. I rather you know, well, you could look up how other people do it, but just don't blindly copy someone's work, especially if someone uploaded their homework. Don't copy it. Okay. Uh, and then print. Report registers print average score uh, for each subject. Okay, so this is the homework, so I'll just leave it here. And the second one would be, what's that called? Combine shopping. This is, I remember this was the one that's really fun to do, but is slightly more challenging. Combine shopping.py. So you have Tom and Matt have a shopping list. So Tom's list. Tom shopping. So Matt. Combine them and remove the redundant items, then count how many items there. So this one actually would need to use a little bit of control flow. I may use it as an example next week, but have a go with it and see how things go. So Tom shopping is, let's say, apple, toilet paper. The toilet paper is super important right now. And want to buy some magazine. Right? Matt want to make some milkshake. So that would be milk. And also toilet paper is super important. And but it's not the top of his head, so he put milk, bananas, and ice cream. Want to have banana milkshake, so banana ice cream and toilet paper. Okay, because if the milkshake is not well, if he fail, if drink it, he's gonna need lots of toilet paper. So okay, and oh yeah, actually Tom wants some banana as well. So because like yeah, everybody loves bananas. Okay, right. So there's two shopping lists, and you gotta combine them and remove the redundant items. Okay. So how about we find all the redundant items first? So combine the list. So we have combine list. So that would be your turn. Okay. So and then redundant. Print out the redundant item. So actually, like, how about print out the count of each item? Okay. And then print the redundant items. So this need to be done manually. You have to print and then you see which one is it, and then yeah. So it's not so cool, but like next week when we teach the control flow, then you could make a super cool program. Print the combine, the final combine list. So maybe here you have to remove the items. Right? Okay. So find a combined list and then print out the count of each item. So you do a lot of printing here and then print the redundant item that we don't have to because when you look at it, and then remove the redundant item. Um, oops. Yeah, remove the redundant item and then print the final combined list. Okay, that's other homework for you. So I will upload all of this. So now I gotta show you how to upload this. I want to show you last week, but I don't. Since I'm already overrun, I gotta just do it here. The post production gonna be super challenging, man. Okay. So all of this is here. So I already uploaded last time. So I have this GitHub repo. So what I gotta do is that actually I need to do a separate video for this Git thing for you to learn how to upload and download things. But right now you just gotta see me do it. So I have staged the changes. So it's like git add dot. I'm using the atom, so I have this, but you can also do it in a command line, which I'm not going to show you this time. I would do another video just for that. Okay. So this is adding code examples and home oh, for today is 19 tutorial. Okay, and then push. So I have uploaded it already. So yeah, I think I recognized I have to do a separate video for Git. So you know how to. You can still download it just like from GitHub. So if you go to GitHub here, you go to GitHub. I'll put this link in the tutorials, don't worry. So I go to my GitHub, and if you can't see the whole thing, do you? You can't. Okay, it's fine. If you go to GitHub, if you go to the repository, I'll put this link so you don't have to go through it like me. I have this link to this repo. So yeah, you can't see the whole thing, but you still see some of it if I scroll down. Okay. So if you click on this one, yeah, you see that the code is there already. So you can just like family tracker, you can just like, so you can do it by, you can either like click on raw, copy this, or you just right click on raw and then save link as to download it. Or you can actually download the whole thing, but this is not recommended because you can actually, download the zip. So this doesn't, all this way of doing it, like downloading it, doesn't require Git operations. But I think it's more convenient if you know how to use Git and just like update it every time. So just download the updated ones every time. That would be much better. So maybe I would do a separate videos to teach you how to use Git, and maybe I'll do a tutorial. So maybe after I cover all this basic Python, I'll do a tutorial about Git. So yeah, so I would. Oh, okay. Let me go back to the slides. Oh, I haven't. Okay. I have to go all the way back. Okay, sorry about that. I'm not thinking ahead. Okay, right. Okay. So yeah. So next week. Sorry about that. It is like 2 hours, and I'm almost 2 hours. I'm not expecting this to be this long, but I really want to cover all of those in one go, so we have some fun stuff to do. And next week it will be more cool. We have the control flow, so we have if else. So now it's just like going one by one, right? So if else lets you do, check if a condition is true. We use Boolean again, check whether the condition is true or false. Jump to different sections, do different things when the conditions are different. A loop, so it kind of lets you do things, like remember my shopping list. So you can just loop through it. You don't have to type it every time. And the same time, 1 p.m. Sunday. I know it's quite early, especially now I stay up late all the time, so it's like super early for me. But I hope it's not too bad for you. And it's on Twitch, so please see me on Twitch. It really helps me if you are there live. Just uh, type in the chat, show me that like you're there. If you have questions, ask me. I'm happy to answer question live. And also, I have this Meet Pie program Wednesday, also 1 p.m. same place, Twitch. Uh, and I plan to start, because now we do it like I do it with Lace, my friend. She's lovely, and we have a chat about Python. We have some update on news, something we discover in Python. But I think it'll be more interesting if we interview some guests in the community. So yeah, so either this next week or the week after, there will be an interview with guests, and everything will be announced in my Twitter. So let me show you my Twitter again. And yeah, it will be on my Twitter. And yeah, so this video will be uploaded, and you can find it in my webpage. The slides is there. You can grab the slides. So that's it for this week. Sorry about that. It's super long, and try to keep it like maybe I have to think about doing it 1 hour and a half, because it's difficult to cover so many things in 1 hour. So yeah, see you very soon. Bye bye.